Hello everyone, it's the Knife Crazy here. I'm just doing a little overview review for you guys of the Canon 35mm f2. Alright, let's get this thing started. As you guys can see by the red dot, if you don't know what that means, it basically means this will fit on any camera that you own with the Canon mount. I know some lenses, like the 18-55, which I'm filming with right now, they actually have a white square where this red dot would be, and it actually kind of tells you that it's only going to fit on entry-level cameras. So this is actually nice because if you ever do decide to upgrade to a full-frame sensor, you know, a couple years, whenever you want, this lens will still carry over as with the 50mm. But some lenses will not, such as your kit lens that you have probably right now, your 18-55, f3.5 to, what is it, 5.6. That will not work on a full frame. Alright, so let's get into this. For starters, we'll just talk about, overall looks and size. It's a pretty small lens. Obviously, it's a prime lens too, but it's tiny. And by that, I just simply mean, like, it's small. There's no way around it. Like, the 50, which I actually have here, so I'll give you a size comparison. The 50 is, like, wider. It's hefty, and it weighs a lot more, and it's also obviously a lot taller. This, however, is pretty small. It's probably got a quarter of an inch less, and it probably weighs, oh man, probably half as much. It's nothing compared to this thing. This thing is, it looks good, I should say. I shouldn't say anything bad about it. It looks nice on the camera. This just, however, looks a little bit tiny, even on the T3i, like this one right here. And I don't even want to know what it looks like on a full frame sensor, because this thing would probably just look absolutely ridiculous. But alright, now we got that out of the way. Both of them feel really well. I'm kind of going to compare the two throughout, just because a lot of people have at least held this lens. Not too many people have really touched this lens before. We'll just talk about how, I guess we can talk about build quality and stuff like that, how they look. We already got through all that, so we could talk about lens quality now. Basically, what I'm going to say is, this one, honestly, and maybe this is just my version, so let's hope I don't get flamed too bad for this one. The 35 has twice the clarity and twice the color that this lens gives me wide open. Obviously, this is an f1.4 and this is an f2, but if I put them both on f2, this one has way deeper reds. It almost has that Canon look, that very red Canon styling. This has that. This, even at f2, it's not very sharp. It's not a high quality, wide open lens, which obviously a lot of people know by now. But this one honestly shocked me at how good the quality was. And then when you stop it down to like f4, 5, 6, something like that, this thing is crazy. This thing is extremely sharp too, but for the money, this one gives you way better quality, even than this one. Like, if I had to go on a shoot, and I needed to shoot wide open, like let's say a concert or just something at night, I would take this. One, because it's wider, but let's pretend they were both the same focal range. I would take this one simply because even though it doesn't have the ultrasonic motors on it, this one gives way better quality. Actually, that's a good thing to talk about next. We'll talk about the actual autofocus motors. There's a lot of differences, and this is a lot of where you pay for the 50mm. As you guys can see on this lens, this is the 50, by the way. As you can see right here, it says it's on autofocus, but look, even when it's on autofocus, I could still override the autofocus and focus on my own. So basically what would happen is, if I half click the shutter, let's just say that was where it locked on focus, I could tweak it myself, just to make sure like it's absolutely perfect for what I want. Maybe it focused on their nose, I want it focused on their eye, like something like that. This is really good for that. It's more portrait oriented, but we'll forget about that. This one, however, is a little bit different. It's older technology, and basically, as you guys can see right now, it's on autofocus, and when I spin the wheel, it doesn't do anything. Because there is no manual override. It's either autofocus or manual focus. The other thing I don't really like about this one so much is, as you guys can see when I get to the end, it stops me. It won't spin anymore. Same thing with the other side. It'll just not let you spin it. With this one, however, the 50, you can go, and this is still in autofocus, by the way, the whole time. Ooh, my bad. A little out of focus there, guys. As you can see, you go past it, it still spins, it's nice because you're not going to damage anything by accident. It just lets it spin. So if you are a big autofocus person or a lot more on the fly, this is probably a better lens for you if you can get past the 50mm focal range. However, this one is sharper, and it does focus just about as fast as this one. I would say it's slightly faster. Like the 50 is slightly faster, but the 35, it gets the job done. It's just loud. The other thing I'd like to mention about the autofocus is this one tends to lock on considerably faster in low light than this one. This one, I mean, it might judder for maybe a quarter of a second, and I'm talking extremely low light. This one might just not even find focus and just close focus and call it a day. So this one does have, obviously, way better autofocus technology and just manual focus technology in general. But this one does give nice quality, and it is not a bad lens. The only thing is, there's absolutely no way you could autofocus in video with this lens. That's the only thing I will say. It is too loud, but it does get the job done for photography, just probably not videography. So after that, we'll talk about the actual. I'll show you the lenses just to see. Now, both of these do have UV filters. I don't really believe that UV is an issue anymore with these kind of lenses because, you know, digital age. But I'll just show you the actual lenses themselves. You can look through them. Yep, that one's pretty wide, you know, f2, and then you look at that thing compared to it, it's like, whoa, look at that hunk of glass. And as you guys can see now, both of them are in fact metal mount, which is always good. And honestly, neither one of them have ever given me an issue, other than the f1.4 every now and then has given me an issue where it's given me very out of focus. Oop, my bad. Apologize about that, guys. Got the lens caps everywhere. The f1.4 50mm autofocus sometimes isn't exact. Now, obviously, the 35 will do that too, and it's just more or less that if I'm shooting wide open, the field of view is just so tiny on these that it's probably your fault that the focus didn't work, because probably when you half-clicked the shutter and focused it, it might have focused here, but then your body moved just a little bit, and really the focus should maybe be like right there, and it's out of focus, and it's really your fault. It's just f1.4 is so insane. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's the two lenses. There isn't much more to say about it other than, I mean, I would obviously recommend this lens. The price, however, could be the deciding factor. This one is considerably cheaper. I believe I only paid about $300, maybe a little bit less for this lens. And this lens was upwards of $400. So honestly, for $100 less, you can get a wider field of view. I would pick this one all day. I did get the 51st. However, I wish I got this first, honestly. So if anyone's looking out there for their first prime, or maybe definitely your second prime after the 50, even if you only have a 1.8, get this. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. 35mm is, on a crop sensor, is such a better field of view to work with, because this is like 50mm on a crop sensor camera. This is like 80mm. That is zoomed in. That's not wide at all. This is beautiful. It's almost like what your eyes see. It's a little bit more zoomed in than what your eyes see, but it's pretty close. It is beautiful, guys. You will not regret buying this lens. And always, guys, make sure you get those UV filters on the top. And I think that's it. I'm trying to think now. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Ultrasonic motors, better in this. Non-ultrasonic, better optical, cheaper, better build quality. And other than that, guys, I think that's it. You guys got to pick up this lens, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.